Hi guys, Jason Bodine coming at you once again from Gadsden, Alabama. Welcome back to the channel. Now usually you guys are used to seeing me sit here talk about different things, but since video is all about show, don't tell, this week we're going to do something a little different. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite activities. Just kidding! I'm going to cook for you this week. I'm going to show you how to make my spaghetti sauce. So come on, let's go. Okay guys, tonight we're going to be making a dish that I first learned how to make when I was about 12 or 13 years old from my grandfather, and then embellished it with my own additions later on. Spaghetti with a side of garlic bread. Now here are the ingredients we're going to be using. For the spaghetti, we're going to be using a pound to a pound and a half of ground beef, 2 medium onions, an 8-ounce package of mushrooms, 1 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes, 3 15-ounce cans of tomato sauce, 2 12-ounce cans of tomato paste, 3 to 4 cloves of fresh garlic, garlic powder, and garlic salt. We're going to be using salt, black pepper, red pepper, grated Parmesan cheese, parsley flakes, oregano, 2 to 3 bay leaves, and of course spaghetti noodles. And for the garlic bread, we're going to be using French bread, butter or margarine, and garlic salt. Now for the sauce, you'll notice I used 3 different kinds of garlic. You're going to want to do that because some of the other ingredients have a tendency to absorb the flavor and you won't be able to taste it if you don't use all this garlic. And the same goes for when you're making the garlic bread. You're going to want to use garlic salt, not garlic powder, or you will not be able to taste it. You might as well just make buttered bread and put it in the oven. Also, you'll notice that I did not use any measuring cups here. I did not list any measurements. And that's because the way I learned how to make this, you're going to need a little tasting spoon, and you just, as you're stirring things up, you add them until it tastes right to you. So there are no specific amounts of ingredients. Alright, let's get started. Okay, now that the ingredients are prepped, we're ready to get started browning the meat. But first, let me tell y'all, I went ahead and I julienned the onions with my handy dandy vegetable slicer that I got from Walmart, and used a garlic press to crush the garlic. I added those things together. The mushrooms are already sliced. I bought them that way. I've opened the cans and I have gathered all of my ingredients together. And the meat is thawed. So what we're going to do is we are going to get some cooking oil. We're going to spray the inside of our pan. And we are going, oopsie. And we're going to turn the eye of the stove up to about medium high to get started. Put the meat in, start browning, and I'll come back when the meat is brown for the next step. Okay, the meat has been browned. The next step, do not drain the fat. You're going to need it to saute the vegetables. Alright, now we're going to do this and just kind of Oh yes, we've got to add our mushrooms too. Add all of those, the onions, the garlic, and the mushrooms all at one time. Stir them around in the meat to get them good and going. And once you can start smelling them cook, okay. You don't have to worry about getting them cooked through before you add the other ingredients. They will cook during the process. Now, we add our sauces. Oh yes, I'm going to need one more tool. Here. Alright, we're going to start with the diced tomatoes. Just dump them in, juice and all. Can go ahead and get rid of that sink. Tomato sauce. Our tomato paste. Now, if you don't have one of these spatula things, this is usually used to spread icing on a cake, but it works well for this too. You can get a butter knife. Just run it around the inside of the can. And that will get your tomato paste out and into the pot. Alright, put this in the sink. Get our stirring spoon. Go ahead and stir all this together. It's going to be very thick, so you're not going to be able to get a good stir right away. Just be aware of that. Oh, and by the way, you may have noticed I have changed my shirt during the cooking process. You'll either want to wear an apron or a shirt. You don't care if it gets dirty because the sauce will splatter. Okay, now the fun part. Adding the herbs and spices. Okay, we're going to put some oregano in. Parsley. We'll go ahead and stir those in first. Again, as best as we can, because this is still very thick. Okay. Salt. And by the way, this is another reason why you want 3 different kinds of garlic, is because unlike garlic, the other ingredients will not mask the flavor of salt. It is possible to put too much of that in there. So if you use garlic salt and nothing else, you may end up with a very, very, very salty spaghetti sauce. Okay. Well, let's see our black pepper next. Well, I don't think we want to use that big thing right there, but now our red pepper. Be sure to open the sprinkling side. If you put, and just put a couple of shakes. If you put too much in, just so you can see a few flakes there. Because if you put too much in, you're gonna have 5-alarm spaghetti sauce. At least. So, unless you want to be drinking milk with your spaghetti, I wouldn't recommend it. Okay. Garlic salt. You're going to be wanting to put enough so you can taste it. And the garlic powder. Garlic salt, garlic powder. Parmesan cheese. For this one, you do want to open the big side. Dump a good amount in there. You don't want to use all of it because you're going to want to type your spaghetti later if you're like me. Stir it until it is good and, well, mixed in as you can get it anyway. With it being so thick at the start, it will thin out as it cooks and everything starts to kind of blend together a little bit. And finally, our last ingredient, bay leaves. Now, you're probably going to want to, after you cook your sauce, remove these. They are not edible. They do add flavor, but the leaves themselves are not edible. So, anybody asks, no, you did not drop your sauce in the yard. They do add flavor. Alright. Everything is mixed together. We'll put our spoon in this other pot, which we will be cooking our noodles in later. And we will put the pot on, set our timer for 10 minutes. Alright. And now, from here, you're going to, after the first 5 minutes of this, you're going to turn down your heat. It's at medium right now. You're going to turn it down to simmer. And then you're going to stir it at the 5-minute mark and then stir it again at the 10-minute mark and reset your timer for 10 minutes. And you're going to be stirring this every 10 minutes for 3 hours. Yes, it takes a while. It is a labor of love, but it is worth it. Okay, while we're waiting for the sauce to cook, I've already gone ahead and added some water to the pot for the noodles and put some of the sauce into the water because that will help the noodles to not stick to each other or the pot, and it will add a little bit of flavor. And I've gone ahead and cut up the bread for the garlic bread and put butter on it. And I'm going to now add the garlic salt. And you don't need much, just a little tap on each, or 2 taps most, on each slice. Okay, there we go. Now, well, my thief's not in here. She's not in here at the moment, but I do have a food thief named Zelda. So, I'm going to put this up in the microwave until I'm ready to actually cook it, so she can't steal any of it. Okay, I've turned on the water, I'm waiting for it to boil, and while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the oven for the bread and put it in. Now, if you have a broil option on your oven, you're going to want to put it on high broil. If not, just put it on whatever temperature that you usually make your garlic bread at and wait for it to heat up. But I'm going to go ahead and do this and put it in, and it usually takes a little less than 2 minutes. About my food thief has gone away again. She's very camera shy. But anyhow, here we go. Putting it into the oven. Okay, the water has started boiling, and now we're going to add the noodles, and these you're going to cook for about 10 minutes or whatever, how it says on your package of noodles. But on mine it says 10 minutes. And as for the amount, just add whatever amount you think will feed the number of people that you're going to be cooking for. In my case, we have 3 people in this house, and I usually find that 2 servings out of this spaghetti container tend to be enough to feed the 3 of us with some left over. Now, you may not have one of these.
4 servings.
Oh, okay, this is a total of 4 servings. But if you don't have enough of these, if you don't have one of these, you're just going to have to guess at it. But anyway, so we put this in, and using the same spoon that we used to stir the sauce with, we're going to stir the noodles for about 10 minutes.
There's the food thief.
Alright, it has been 10 minutes. It's time to empty the noodles into the colander. Alright, turn off the eye, always remember to do that. And now, just a few minutes on the sauce. Alright, and as the wise man once said, whoop, there it is. Spaghetti with a side of garlic bread. Please let me know in the comments if you tried this and what you thought of it. Alright Alright guys, it's time to end this video, but before I do, let me give a special shout out to my brother Nate and my daughter Zelda, who both assisted me in making this video. And as always, if you like this video, please click on that like button, and if you want to see more of my content, please hit subscribe. And until next time, peace!